Have you ever felt like there's a hidden pattern in everything? Like the same shapes, the same cycles, the same energies keep repeating, through nature, through history, through your own life? What if that feeling wasn't just intuition, but a fundamental truth of existence? For thousands of years, a secret has been whispered through the corridors of mystery schools, encoded in ancient texts, and buried beneath layers of symbolism. A truth so powerful that understanding it could change the way you see everything. The ancient sage known as Hermes Trismegistus revealed this knowledge in 7 sacred principles, and at the heart of them all was one phrase: as above, so below. This is not just a poetic idea. It is a key to unlocking the structure of reality itself. It means that the patterns that govern the stars are the same patterns that govern the atoms, that the forces shaping galaxies are the same forces shaping your thoughts, that your inner world and the external world are not separate but reflections of each other, and those who have understood this have been able to wield its power, to manifest, to transform, to reshape their destiny. But here's the secret they don't want you to know. This knowledge was never meant for the masses. It has been hidden, suppressed, wrapped in cryptic symbols so that only the initiated could grasp its full meaning. Throughout history, powerful groups have used this principle for their own gain, while convincing the rest of the world that reality is random, chaotic, disconnected. Because if you understood the truth, that your mind, your spirit, and the very fabric of the cosmos are all part of the same grand design, you would no longer be controllable. The Emerald Tablet, an ancient text attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, holds one of the earliest written records of this principle. It states that what happens above in the heavens is mirrored below in the physical world. But this idea goes beyond astrology, beyond philosophy. It speaks to the very code of creation itself. Look at the way rivers branch like the veins in your body. The spirals of galaxies mirror the spirals. The neural networks in your brain resemble the structure of the universe. This is not coincidence. This is the language of reality. Think about how this affects you personally. If the external world is a reflection of your internal state, then what does that mean for your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs? It means that what you hold inside you is shaping your world, whether you realize it or not. Every fear, every desire, every expectation sends ripples into the unseen field of energy that connects all things. This is why those who master their inner world gain mastery over the outer world. This is why the greatest minds in history, Plato, Pythagoras, Da Vinci, Tesla, all studied these ancient principles. The deeper you go, the clearer it becomes. The world is not separate from you, it is a mirror, and when you change your internal state, the reflection shifts. Have you ever noticed how when you are filled with doubt and negativity, life seems to throw more obstacles your way? And yet, when you are confident, focused, and in alignment, opportunities seem to appear effortlessly. This is not magic. This is the principle of as above, so below in action. But here's where it gets even more profound. This principle does not just apply to personal transformation. It applies to everything. It is the foundation of the universe itself. In science, we see this in fractal geometry, in quantum physics, in the way the smallest particles behave just like the largest celestial bodies. It is all connected, and the more we understand these patterns, the more we can work with them rather than against them. The ancients knew this. That's why they studied the stars. Not just for navigation, but because they believed that celestial movements reflected human consciousness, that planetary cycles influenced emotions, decisions, and fate. They built temples aligned with cosmic forces, practiced rituals that mirrored the rhythms of nature, and understood that by attuning themselves to these patterns, they could access higher states of awareness. But somewhere along the way, this knowledge was lost, or rather, it was taken. The modern world teaches you to see yourself as separate from nature, as separate from the cosmos, as separate from your own power. You are told that your thoughts are private, that your energy does not extend beyond your body, that the universe is indifferent to your existence. But deep down you know this is not true. You have felt the synchronicities, the moments where life seems to speak directly to you, the undeniable sense that there is a deeper order beneath the surface. The real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue to see life as a series of random events? Or will you start seeing the patterns? Will you continue to believe that you are powerless? Or will you begin to align with the forces that have always been guiding you? Because once you open your eyes to this truth, you can never go back. And once you begin to apply it, once you begin to consciously shift your internal world in order to transform your external reality, you step into a power that few ever realize. The same power that mystics, alchemists, and sages have used for centuries. The power to shape your destiny, to manifest your desires, to understand the hidden structure of existence itself. But be warned, this is not just another concept to be studied. This is a way of being, a way of seeing, and once you see, you cannot unsee. The patterns will become obvious. The illusions will begin to dissolve. You will start to recognize the hidden language of the universe, and the universe will start responding to you in ways you never imagined. So, ask yourself this: are you ready to see? Are you ready to understand why things happen the way they do? Are you ready to step beyond the illusion and into the real fabric of reality? Because if you are, then the journey begins now. And once you take that first step, the world will never look the same again. Everything you see, everything you experience, is part of a greater reflection. The universe does not exist outside of you, it exists through you. The same structures that shape galaxies shape your very being. The same forces that drive the cosmos flow through your thoughts, your emotions, your consciousness. The principle of as above, so below is not just an observation of symmetry in nature, it is a revelation of your own creative power. You were never meant to be a passive observer of reality. You were meant to be a co-creator, and yet most people go through life disconnected from this truth. They believe that their thoughts are confined to their minds, that their emotions have no impact beyond their own skin, that the universe is indifferent to them. But this is a lie, because the moment you shift your inner world, the outer world responds. The moment you change the way you think, feel, and believe, your entire reality begins to reorganize itself around you. Look around. Every great mind, every spiritual teacher, every enlightened being throughout history has spoken of this in different ways. The Buddha taught that the mind is the source of all experience. Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is within you. The ancient alchemists believed that the key to transformation was not just in metals, but in the self. Even modern science through quantum physics has begun to confirm that consciousness is not separate from the physical world, that the act of observation itself influences reality. This is why those who understand the principle of as above, so below wield an almost supernatural ability to manifest what they desire. It is not magic, it is alignment. They do not force reality to bend to their will. They shift their own internal state, and reality naturally rearranges itself in response. This is why some people seem to attract success effortlessly while others struggle endlessly. Why some people always find themselves in the right place at the right time, while others remain stuck in cycles of misfortune. It is not luck, it is not chance, it is alignment. Think about the moments in your life when you were in flow, when things just seemed to click into place, when opportunities arose at the perfect time, when ideas, people, and circumstances aligned so effortlessly that it felt as if the universe itself was conspiring in your favor. That was not coincidence. That was you, unknowingly tapping into this ancient law. That was you, without resistance, allowing the natural order to unfold. And yet, at other times, when you were filled with doubt, fear, and resistance, nothing seemed to work. You tried harder, struggled more, but the more you pushed, the more things seemed to push back. That was also the law in action. Your external reality was mirroring your internal state. The world does not happen to you, it happens through you. And once you understand this, once you truly embody this truth, you will stop trying to manipulate the external and start mastering the internal. Because the moment you do, everything outside of you will begin to shift effortlessly. Look at nature. Everything flows. The tides move with the pull of the moon. The planets orbit in perfect harmony. The trees grow in spiral patterns that mirror the galaxies. Nature does not resist itself. It does not force. It aligns. And when you align, your life will begin to reflect the same effortless harmony. But alignment is not something that happens by accident. It is something you cultivate. It is something you master. And it begins with understanding that your mind is not just a collection of thoughts. It is an instrument of creation. Your emotions are not just fleeting feelings. They are vibrational signatures shaping the energy around you. Your beliefs are not just opinions. They are the blueprints of your reality. Everything is energy. Every thought, every word, every action carries a frequency. And that frequency is either in harmony with what you desire or in resistance to it. The people who struggle the most are those who are unknowingly emitting a frequency that contradicts what they seek. They want abundance but focus on lack. They want love but believe they are unworthy. They want success but fear failure. And so the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, reflects back to them exactly what they are putting out. But those who master this principle do the opposite. They do not chase, they attract. They do not force, they allow. They do not react, they create. And they do it by understanding that the real work is always internal, that their job is not to control the external world, but to align their internal world so that the external world has no choice but to follow. This is why ancient mystics meditated in caves for years, why monks spend lifetimes mastering the mind, why sages speak of the power of stillness. Because when you master your internal state, you master reality itself. The chaos of the outside world no longer affects you. The opinions of others no longer dictate your self-worth. The ups and downs of life no longer shake your foundation, because you know that everything happening outside of you is just a reflection of what is happening. And when you shift within, reality shifts with you. This is why true transformation is never about changing the world. It is about changing yourself. This is why history's greatest minds did not fight against the world, they rose above it. They understood that by elevating their own frequency, they would naturally elevate the reality they experienced, and so they did not waste energy battling external circumstances. They did not fall into the illusion that they were victims of fate. They became conscious creators. And now you have that same choice. Will you continue to see life as something that happens to you, or will you begin to see it as something that responds to you? Will you continue to react to the world, or will you begin to shape it? Will you continue to fight against circumstances, or will you align with the forces that have been guiding you all along? Because the moment you decide, the moment you truly commit to stepping into this level of awareness, the universe will respond. You will begin to see signs everywhere. You will notice synchronicities that are too precise to be mere chance. You will feel a shift in the way people interact with you. You will sense a deeper intelligence moving through your life, arranging things in ways that are beyond logic, beyond probability. And when that happens, you will know that you have stepped beyond the illusion, that you have begun to see reality for what it truly is, that you are no longer just a person living in the world. You are the world, experiencing itself through you. And from that moment forward, nothing will ever be the same. Everything is connected. The structure of the universe, the rhythm of your breath, the cycles of time, the pulse of your thoughts. Nothing exists in isolation. The principle of as above, so below is not just a philosophy. It is a law, a universal code embedded into the very fabric of existence. And whether you realize it or not, you have been living by this law your entire life. Every thought, every emotion, every belief sends ripples into the field of reality, and reality responds. The external world is not separate from you, it is a mirror, reflecting back to you the patterns you hold within. This is why your internal world matters. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you see yourself. It all dictates the quality of your experience. If your mind is filled with chaos, your life will reflect chaos. If your thoughts are rooted in fear, your reality will provide reasons to be afraid. But if you align your internal world with clarity, with harmony, with certainty, then the external world will follow. This is why some people seem to live in effortless flow while others struggle against an invisible force. It is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is alignment. And once you understand this, you can never see the world the same way again. You will start to recognize the patterns everywhere, in the spirals of galaxies, in the branches of trees, in the way storms swirl and rivers carve through the earth. These are not random occurrences, they are the expression of a deeper order, the same order that governs your thoughts, your energy, your consciousness. Science is only now beginning to grasp what the ancients always knew. The universe is fractal, the same patterns repeat at every level of existence. The spirals in seashells mimic the spirals in hurricanes. The veins in a leaf resemble the veins in your body. The synapses in your brain resemble the cosmic web that stretches across the galaxies. There is no separation. The structure of the macrocosm and the microcosm are one and the same. This is why your thoughts matter, because just as the stars move in precise orbits, your thoughts follow patterns, and those patterns shape the energy that surrounds you. Every belief you hold is like a gravitational force, pulling similar experiences into your field. Every emotion is like a signal, broadcasting into the unseen, attracting circumstances that match its frequency. If you live in a state of gratitude, the world will reflect back to you reasons to be grateful. If you live in a state of resentment, life will give you more things to resent. This is not theory, this is a law. The same law that moves planets, that shapes mountains, that grows forests. The law of reflection, the law of resonance. Think about the moments in your life when everything seemed to go wrong at once, as if some unseen force was conspiring against you. And then think about the moments when everything fell perfectly into place, when the right people, the right circumstances, the right opportunities appeared as if by magic. These were not random events. They were reflections of the energy you were holding. The universe was responding to you, showing you a mirror of your internal state. But the real secret is this: you are not bound by these patterns. Just as the alchemists of old sought to transform base metals into gold, you have the ability to transform your reality by transforming yourself. True alchemy is not about external manipulation, it is about internal transmutation. It is about refining your mind, purifying your emotions, elevating your consciousness to a higher state. And when you do this, the world around you must shift. It has no choice. This is why great spiritual masters, from Hermes Trismegistus to Buddha, from Jesus to Lao Tzu, all spoke of the same fundamental truth. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Change your mind, and you change your life. Align with the greater harmony of the universe, and everything will align with you. But most people will never do this. Most people will remain trapped in their old patterns, repeating the same cycles, never realizing that they are the ones creating them. They will blame the world, they will blame fate, they will blame others, but they will never look within. They will never recognize that the answer was always inside them. But you are different. You are beginning to see, you are beginning to understand that reality is not something that happens to you, it is something that happens through you. That you are not just a participant in this cosmic dance but a creator of it. And with this understanding comes power. The power to shift your patterns, the power to align with the higher order, the power to consciously shape your destiny instead of unconsciously repeating your past. This is where transformation begins, not by forcing the world to change, but by changing yourself, by breaking the patterns that no longer serve you, by replacing fear with trust, by shifting from resistance to flow. The more you align your energy with the natural order, the more effortlessly things will unfold. You will no longer need to struggle, because you will be moving in harmony with the forces that shape existence itself. Think about water. Water does not fight against obstacles, it moves around them. It carves through mountains not by force, but by persistence, by surrender, by flowing with the natural laws that govern reality. And this is the key. The universe is not chaotic. It is precise. It is structured. It is intelligent. And when you align yourself with that intelligence, when you stop resisting and start flowing, everything changes. The signs are already there. If you pay attention, you will begin to notice them. The synchronicities, the subtle nudges from the universe, the whispers in your intuition. They have always been there, guiding you, leading you toward a deeper truth. But you must be willing to listen. You must be willing to see. You must be willing to step beyond the illusion of separation and into the reality of unity. Because the greatest illusion of all is that you are separate from the universe, that you are a small being in a vast cosmos, that you are powerless against the forces that shape reality. This is the lie that has been told for centuries. The truth is that you are the universe, experiencing itself. The same intelligence that moves the stars moves through you. The same consciousness that shapes reality flows through your mind, your heart, your very breath. You are not a product of the universe, you are the universe. And the moment you embrace this, the moment you stop seeing yourself as separate and start seeing yourself as a reflection of the whole, everything will change. The struggles, the doubts, the fears, they will begin to dissolve. Not because the world outside of you has changed, but because you have. And when you change, when you shift your vibration, when you align yourself with the greater harmony, the external world has no choice but to reflect that back to you. As above, so below. As within, so without. This is not just an idea. It is the most fundamental truth of existence. It is the key to unlocking the full potential of your consciousness. It is the blueprint for mastering your reality. And now that you have begun to see, the only question left is, what will you do with this knowledge? The moment you accept this truth, you will begin to see the world differently. You will notice patterns that were invisible before. You will recognize how your thoughts ripple outward, shaping your experiences, shifting the very energy around you. You will understand why certain things keep repeating in your life, why certain struggles never seem to end, why moments of synchronicity appear when you least expect them, because nothing is random, nothing is separate, everything is connected through this law, a law that has existed long before human beings could put it into words. The ancients knew it, the mystics understood it, the great philosophers and scientists who pushed the boundaries of human knowledge all saw the same reflection, that the universe is not chaotic, but intelligent, structured, and deeply, deeply interconnected. The microcosm and the macrocosm are not different things, they are mirrors of each other. The structure of your DNA mirrors the spiral arms of galaxies. The firing of neurons in your brain reflects the way lightning branches through the sky. The ebb and flow of the tides mirrors the inhale and exhale of your breath. And the movements of planets above you correspond to the shifts and cycles of your own consciousness. It is all the same, it always has been. And the more you recognize this, the more you step into alignment with it. But this is where most people get lost. They think they must change the world around them first. They think if they could just control external circumstances, they would finally be at peace. If they could fix their relationships, find success, escape their struggles, then they would be happy. But that is not how this law works. The external world is the effect, not the cause. The world is not something that happens to you. It is something that responds to you. And the moment you turn inward, the moment you shift your internal state, everything outside of you begins to shift as well. This is why those who truly master this principle do not fight the external world. They do not resist reality. They align themselves with it. They shape themselves into harmony with the flow of the universe, and by doing so they shape the universe itself. Because just as the macrocosm influences the microcosm also influences the macrocosm. As above, so below. As within, so without. This is why the greatest sages and mystics emphasized self-mastery, because the self is the key. The moment you take full responsibility for your internal world, you take full responsibility for your external world. When you shift your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, you shift the very energy field around you. And when that energy shifts, reality follows. It has to. It is a law. The same law that governs the stars, the same law that shapes galaxies, the same law that creates the patterns in nature is the same law that governs your life. But most people do not live by this law. They live in resistance to it. They react to the world instead of shaping it. They allow external circumstances to dictate their internal state instead of mastering their internal state first. They wait for things to change before they allow themselves to feel peace, joy, or clarity. But waiting will get them nowhere, because reality does not change by chance, it changes by design, and that design begins within. Have you ever noticed that when you are in a low emotional state, when you are frustrated, anxious, or doubtful, everything seems to go wrong? People react negatively to you. Obstacles seem to appear out of nowhere. It feels like the world is pushing against you. But then, when you are in a state of flow, when you are confident, clear, and aligned, everything unfolds effortlessly. Doors open, the right people show up, circumstances align in your favor. This is not magic, this is not coincidence, this is the principle of correspondence at work. Your inner state is reflected outward, always. And this is why the true path to transformation is not about manipulating the external world, it is about mastering the internal world. It is about tuning your consciousness to a higher frequency, aligning your energy with the natural order and allowing reality to reflect that back to you. Those who do this effortlessly attract what they desire. They do not chase, they do not force, they simply become a match for what they seek, and the universe responds. But this requires discipline. It requires a shift in perspective. It requires breaking free from the illusion that you are separate from the whole. It requires letting go of the belief that you are powerless. It requires understanding that every thought you think, every feeling you hold, every belief you reinforce is actively shaping your experience of reality. So, ask yourself, what patterns have been repeating in your life? What experiences keep showing up again and again? What situations seem to mirror your deepest fears or desires? Because they are not coincidences. They are reflections. They are messages. They are showing you what you are putting out into the world, whether consciously or unconsciously. And once you recognize this, you have the power to change it. The universe does not judge. It does not choose what to reflect back to you. It simply mirrors what you give it. If you send out signals of doubt, fear, and limitation, it will reflect those experiences back to you. If you send out signals of trust, clarity, and abundance, it will reflect those instead. It is always responding. It is always adjusting to the frequency you hold. This is why those who truly understand this principle do not live in fear. They do not live in doubt. They know that the universe is not working against them. It is working with them. It is always guiding them toward their highest potential, always reflecting back to them exactly what they need to see in order to grow. And when challenges arise, they do not resist them. They see them as feedback, as opportunities to adjust their internal state, to realign with their highest path. This is mastery. This is alignment. This is the path of the awakened. And the moment you begin to live by this truth, you step into a different way of being. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop seeing obstacles as punishments and start seeing them as lessons. You stop believing that you are separate from the universe and start realizing that you are the universe. And once you reach this state, everything changes. The world becomes clearer, reality becomes more fluid. You start to notice the synchronicities, the hidden connections, the unseen intelligence guiding your every step. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start feeling like a participant in the great unfolding of existence. Because the truth is, you were never meant to live in struggle. You were never meant to live in limitation. You were never meant to be at the mercy of forces outside of your control. You were meant to master yourself, to align with the deeper order, to step into the fullness of your potential. And now, you are beginning to see how. So the question is no longer whether this principle is real, the question is whether you will apply it, whether you will take responsibility for your internal world, whether you will shift your consciousness, align your energy, and allow reality to reflect back to you the truth of who you really are. Because the moment you do, the universe will respond. The moment you align, the external world will follow. The moment you step into your power, everything will change. Not because you forced it, not because you controlled it, but because you finally understood how it was always meant to work. You are beginning to see what has been hidden in plain sight. The patterns, the reflections, the undeniable truth that the forces shaping the universe are the same forces shaping you. The ancient wisdom of as above, so below is not just a philosophy, it is a law a fundamental design woven into the very fabric of existence. And now that you understand this, everything changes. Imagine a mirror that stretches infinitely in both directions. On one side is the vast cosmos, an endless expanse of galaxies, nebulae, and celestial bodies. On the other side is your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, and the very essence of your being. What happens on one side is reflected on the other. The micro mirrors the macro. The patterns of the stars echo in the patterns of your DNA. The spirals of galaxies swirl in the same design as the water in your cell. Your breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the cycles of your emotions, all of it is an expression of the same universal intelligence that moves planets and ignites stars. But here is what most people fail to realize. Just as the universe expands outward, so does consciousness. Your mind is not confined to your skull. Your energy is not limited to your body. The thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, the beliefs you hold are not just personal experiences. They are waves sent into the unseen field that connects everything. And when you understand this, when you begin to work with this principle instead of against it, you step into a level of awareness that few ever reach. Everything you do, everything you think, everything you feel is creating an imprint on the world around you. Your internal world is a tuning fork, resonating with the external world and drawing to you experiences that match your frequency. If you hold on to thoughts of limitation, the universe will reflect that back to you as obstacles. If you exist in a state of gratitude, the universe will amplify that energy and return it to you in ways you never imagined. This is why the greatest minds and spiritual teachers throughout history have emphasized the power of inner transformation, because they understood that true change begins within. Your external reality is a feedback loop. It is responding to you, showing you exactly where your energy is aligned. And if you don't like what you see, the answer is not to fight against the external. It is to shift the internal. It is to refine your energy, elevate your thoughts, and align yourself with the higher order that governs everything. You are not here to be a passive observer of reality. You are here to be an active participant, to shape, to create, to align. And when you master this principle, life no longer feels like a struggle. It becomes a flow. The resistance disappears, the obstacles dissolve, and you begin to move with the same effortless precision that guides the stars in their orbits. But this is not about blind faith. This is not about wishful thinking. This is about understanding the mechanics of reality and applying them with intention. Just as a scientist studies the forces of nature to harness them, you must study the forces of consciousness to harness them. You must become aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, not as abstract concepts, but as the very building blocks of your reality. You must recognize the patterns in your life and trace them back to their origins within you. Because when you do, you begin to see with clarity. You begin to understand that every experience, every synchronicity, every so-called coincidence is part of a greater design. And when you step into this awareness, something remarkable happens. You stop seeing yourself as separate from the world. You stop feeling like an isolated being in a vast universe. You begin to recognize that you are the universe, expressing itself through human form, that the intelligence that moves through the cosmos is the same intelligence that moves through you, that your consciousness is not a byproduct of your brain, it is an extension of something infinite, something boundless, something eternal. Think about how this changes everything. If your thoughts are not just random but forces of creation, then you must become intentional with them. If your emotions are not just fleeting sensations but vibrational signatures that shape your reality, then you must cultivate them with care. If your beliefs are not just opinions but the very foundation upon which your life is built, then you must choose them wisely, because the moment you align your internal world with the deeper harmony of existence, reality itself will begin to respond in ways you never thought possible. This is why ancient civilizations built temples aligned with celestial bodies. This is why mystics spent years in silence refining their minds. This is why the Hermetic teachings have survived for thousands of years. Because those who understand this principle and apply it gain access to a power that transcends time, a power that has been hidden from the masses but preserved in the mystery schools of the ages. And now you are beginning to remember. You have already felt this in your life, the times when things unfolded effortlessly, as if an unseen force was guiding you, the moments when you trusted your intuition and it led you exactly where you needed to be, the instances where your thoughts seemed to influence the world around you in ways you couldn't logically explain. These were glimpses of the truth that you are not separate, the truth that everything is connected, the truth that as above, so below is not just an idea, but a reality waiting to be understood. And now you have a choice. You can ignore this knowledge, dismiss it as coincidence, and continue living as though you are separate from the world around you. Or you can embrace it, experiment with it, apply it in your life and see what happens. You can begin to work with the natural laws instead of resisting them. You can become aware of your own energy, refine your thoughts, and step into the flow that has always been waiting for you. Because once you do, you will never go back. You will start to notice things you never noticed before. The way the universe speaks to you through signs and symbols, the way people respond differently when you shift your energy, the way opportunities arise effortlessly when you stop forcing and start allowing. You will realize that you are not at the mercy of fate, you are a conscious creator, and the more you step into this power, the more aligned your life becomes. You are part of something vast, something intelligent, something beyond comprehension, and yet it is also within you. The universe is not out there somewhere, separate from you. It is expressing itself through you. The same forces that create worlds are moving through your mind, your breath, your very existence, and now that you have begun to see, you can never unsee. Now that you have begun to feel the truth of this, you can never go back to believing in randomness. Now that you understand the principle of as above, so below, the question is no longer whether it is real. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Because the truth is, the universe has been waiting for you to remember. The signs have always been there, the patterns have always been speaking to you, and now you are ready to listen. Now you are ready to see. Now you are ready to step into the truth that has been hidden in plain sight all along. There has never been separation. That idea was planted in your mind long before you were old enough to question it. You were told that you are here and the universe is out there, that you are an individual moving through an external world that exists independently of you, that your thoughts, your emotions, your very consciousness are nothing more than chemical reactions inside your brain, disconnected from the reality around you. But now you are beginning to see through the illusion. Now you are remembering the truth that was hidden from you. As above, so below. You are not a passive observer of the universe. You are an extension of it. The same energy that burns in the stars flows through your veins. The same intelligence that moves galaxies moves through your mind. You were never small. You were never powerless. You were simply made to forget. And now the remembering has begun. When you look at the patterns in nature, what do you see? The spiral of a seashell, the branching of a tree, the formation of a hurricane, the structure of your own DNA. They are not different. They are the same pattern, repeating itself on every scale of existence. The structure of the cosmos is mirrored in the structure of your body. The laws that govern the movement of planets govern the movement of your thoughts. There is no division between the microcosm and the macrocosm. They are reflections of one another, infinitely intertwined. But here is what they don't tell you. If the universe is a reflection of you, then it is responding to you. Your thoughts are not confined to your mind. Your emotions do not exist in isolation. They extend outward into the unseen fabric of reality shaping the world around you. Every fear you hold, every doubt you nurture, every belief you reinforce sends a signal into the field that connects all things. And the universe, in perfect harmony with this principle, reflects that signal back to you. This is why people remain trapped in cycles they cannot escape. They do not realize that they are broadcasting their reality before they experience it. They do not realize that their suffering, their struggles, their limitations are not imposed upon them by an external force but created from within. And so they fight against the world, never understanding that the battle is with themselves. But those who master this principle move differently. They do not react to the world, they shape it. They do not beg for change, they become the change. They understand that the work is not in forcing the external to shift, but in shifting the internal so that the external world has no choice but to reflect it. They align their energy with the reality they desire, and the universe responds in kind. The ancient alchemists understood this. They spoke of turning lead into gold, but this was never just about physical metals. It was about transmutation, the transformation of the self. Lead represents the dense, unrefined mind weighed down by fear, doubt, and limitation. Gold represents the awakened mind, purified by wisdom, vibrating at a frequency that aligns with the highest expression of reality. The alchemist's true work was always internal. To refine the mind, purify the heart, elevate the soul. To become the gold. And once you become it within, the world outside must follow. This is why so many never reach their full potential. They are waiting for the world to change before they do. They are waiting for the right circumstances, the right opportunities, the right moment. But the truth is, the world is waiting for them. The moment they shift, everything shifts. The moment they let go of the old patterns, the old reality dissolves. The moment they stop believing in limitation, limitation ceases to exist. And now you are beginning to feel this within yourself. You are beginning to understand that reality is not happening to you, it is happening through you. That your thoughts are not just private conversations in your mind, but forces that shape the world around you. That what you hold inside is reflected back to you in every experience, every interaction, every moment of your life. But this is not something to simply believe, it is something to experience, something to test. And once you do, you will see that it has been true all along. Look at the patterns of your life, the people you attract, the experiences that repeat themselves, the way your emotions seem to set the tone for everything around you. Begin to see the connections. Begin to recognize that there was never randomness, only reflections. And once you see, you cannot unsee. The game changes. You stop fighting against what is and start working with what can be. You stop looking outside for validation and start looking within for transformation. And as you do, you will notice something remarkable. The more you align, the more effortless life becomes. The struggle fades, the resistance dissolves. The right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances begin to appear, not because you are chasing them, but because you are aligned with them. Because this is the ultimate secret of as above, so below. The universe does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. If you exist in a state of fear, you will experience a reality that confirms that fear. If you exist in a state of trust, you will experience a reality that rewards that trust. The world outside of you is a reflection of the world inside of you. And now you must ask yourself, what are you reflecting? This is why those who master themselves master reality. They do not beg for abundance. They embody abundance, and so it comes. They do not chase love. They become love, and so they attract it effortlessly. They do not fight against darkness. They become light, and the darkness cannot exist in their presence. This is not superstition. This is not wishful thinking. This is alignment. The principle of correspondence in action. The universal law, working as it always has. And now you have a choice. You can continue to see yourself as separate, as small, as powerless. You can continue to live in the illusion that life is happening to you rather than through you. Or you can embrace the truth that has been waiting for you all along. That you are not a bystander in this universe. You are a force within it. That you are not bound by fate, but shaping it with every thought, every emotion, every vibration you send into the field. Because once you understand this, once you truly embody it, you will begin to see reality shift before your eyes. You will begin to recognize that nothing is out of reach, that nothing is impossible, that the barriers, the obstacles, the limitations were never real to begin with. They were illusions, created by the mind, reinforced by belief, and dissolved the moment you step into a higher awareness. So now the question is simple. What will you choose? Will you remain in the illusion, bound by patterns that no longer serve you? Or will you break free, align yourself with the truth, and step into the power that has always been yours? The choice has always been yours. The universe is not holding you back. The universe is waiting. And the moment you decide, the moment you commit, the moment you align, everything will change. Because it has to, because that is the law, because as above, so below is not just a phrase, it is the very nature of reality itself. Everything you have ever needed has always been within you. Every answer, every opportunity, every possibility, it has always existed, waiting for you to recognize it. The universe is not withholding from you. It is responding to you. It is reflecting you. And now you are beginning to see what has been hidden in plain sight all along. The moment you shift your internal world, the external world rearranges itself to match. The moment you align your thoughts, your emotions, your energy with a higher frequency, life begins to flow in ways that once seemed impossible. Think of a time when things just seemed to work out effortlessly, when everything fell into place without force, without struggle, as if the universe itself was conspiring to bring you exactly what you needed. That was not luck. That was not chance. That was you, aligned. That was you moving in harmony with the unseen forces that shape reality. And just as effortlessly as you stepped into that flow, you can step out of it, and you have. Every time you doubted, every time you allowed fear to take over, every time you believed more in limitation than in possibility, the flow never disappeared, you simply disconnected from it. But now, you are learning how to return. Now you are remembering that you were never separate from it to begin with. You are realizing that alignment is not something you force. It is something you allow. It is not about controlling the external. It is about mastering the internal. Because when your internal world is in order, the external world must reflect that order. That is the law. That is the principle of as above, so below in action. Look at the greatest minds, the most enlightened beings, the ones who have walked this earth with an unshakable presence. They did not waste energy chasing. They did not live in reaction. They moved with intention. They understood that the universe is a mirror, and so they mastered themselves first. And once they did, the world followed. Their energy became undeniable. Their influence became effortless, and you feel that energy when you are in the presence of someone who is truly aligned. You sense it before they even speak. Their frequency is strong, unshaken, commanding without effort. You have felt it before. You have been that person before, even if only for a fleeting moment. A moment where you knew exactly who you were. A moment where you were unafraid, unbothered by opinions, unattached to outcomes, fully present, fully alive. In that moment you were not seeking validation, you were not second-guessing yourself. You were not waiting for the world to change, you were the change, and the world responded to you differently. Opportunities appeared, people gravitated toward you, life moved with you instead of against you. And then, as soon as doubt crept in, as soon as you slipped back into old patterns, the flow seemed to vanish. But it never vanished, it was always there, waiting for you to return. The truth is, there is no external force holding you back. The obstacles you see, the limitations you believe in, the reasons you tell yourself why something is not possible, none of them are real. They are projections of an internal state that has not yet been refined. They are reflections of a belief system that is still operating under illusion. But the moment you change the belief, the moment you dissolve the illusion, the limitation disappears. And this is why most people never break free. Because they believe what they see instead of understanding that what they see is a reflection of what they believe. They remain trapped in a cycle of doubt and struggle, never realizing that the world is simply showing them a mirror. They look at their circumstances and say, "This is proof of my limitation," when in reality their circumstances exist because of that very belief in limitation. But you are beginning to understand. You are beginning to see that the cycle can be broken, that the reflection can be changed, that your reality is not set in stone. It is fluid, malleable, responsive. That the key is not outside of you, it is within you. And once you truly grasp this, once you fully embody this, nothing will ever be the same again. Because when you shift, everything shifts. The way people respond to you, the opportunities that appear, the way time itself seems to bend in your favor. You will begin to notice that things happen faster, manifestations arrive quicker, synchronicities multiply, not because you are forcing anything, but because you have stopped resisting, not because you are controlling, but because you are aligning. And alignment is the key, because the universe does not operate in randomness, it operates in precision, in order, in frequency. Everything has a vibration, every thought, every emotion, every belief, and when your vibration is in harmony with what you seek, there is no delay. It comes naturally, effortlessly, inevitably. This is why some people seem to succeed with ease while others struggle endlessly. It is not a matter of luck, it is not a matter of external circumstances, it is a matter of internal frequency. You can feel it when you are aligned. It is a sense of knowing, a deep certainty that cannot be shaken. It is not arrogance, it is not wishful thinking, it is clarity, it is presence. It is an unshakable understanding that you are exactly where you need to be, that everything is unfolding in perfect order, that nothing is missing, that nothing needs to be forced. It is the state from which true creation happens. And this is what they don't want you to know, that you do not need permission, that you do not need to wait, that you do not need to seek anything outside of yourself. Because everything you need is already here. The only thing standing in your way is the illusion that something is missing, the belief that you are separate, the idea that you must struggle, that you must chase, that you must fight against reality. But now you see the truth that reality is not your enemy, it is your partner, that the universe is not testing you, it is responding to you, that you are not small, not powerless, not at the mercy of chance. You are the creator, the architect, the one who shapes the mirror that is life itself. And so the question is no longer whether or not you are capable. The question is, will you claim it? Will you step fully into alignment? Will you stop doubting, stop resisting, stop waiting? Will you begin to move as if you already are the version of yourself that you seek to become? Will you hold the frequency of what you desire so unwaveringly that reality has no choice but to match it? Because the moment you do, everything will change, not gradually, not someday, instantly, because the shift does not happen in the external, it happens within, and the external is only a reflection. As above, so below, as within, so without. You have always known this, you have always felt it, even if you could not yet put it into words, and now you have remembered. Now you understand, now you hold the key, and now the only question left is, what will you do with it? There is no turning back now. You have seen the truth, and once you see, you cannot unsee. The illusion of separation is dissolving. The idea that you are just a small being in a vast and indifferent universe is crumbling away. You are beginning to feel the connection, the undeniable reality that everything you think, everything you feel, everything you believe is shaping the world around you. You are beginning to realize that the universe is not outside of you, it is within you, that the forces guiding the planets, the laws that govern existence, the intelligence that orchestrates creation, are the same forces that flow through your own consciousness. And now the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Because knowledge alone is not enough. Awareness alone does not create change. It is the application, the embodiment, the integration of this truth that shifts reality. The principle of as above, so below is not something you simply understand. It is something you live. It is something you practice with every thought, every intention, every vibration you send into the field of existence. You have already felt glimpses of this power. You have seen how your energy affects those around you. You have experienced moments when your thoughts seemed to shape events, when your intuition guided you with a clarity beyond logic, when life responded to your frequency in ways that defied explanation. These were not accidents. These were not coincidences. They were glimpses into the deeper mechanics of reality, the way things have always worked, whether you were aware of it or not. But now you are aware. And once you are aware, you have a choice. Do you continue to live as though you are separate? Do you continue to believe that you are at the mercy of circumstance? Or do you step fully into alignment with the truth? Do you begin to refine your thoughts, elevate your emotions, hold yourself to the standard of someone who knows that their energy is shaping the world around them? Because the moment you decide, the moment you commit to this higher level of being, everything changes. The resistance fades, the struggle dissolves, the delays that once seemed insurmountable vanish, because they were never real to begin with. They were only reflections of internal misalignment. And the moment you align, the external must align as well. That is the law, that is the principle in action. This is why some people seem to move through life effortlessly, attracting what they desire, manifesting their visions, creating with ease. It is not because they are lucky. It is not because they were born with some special advantage. It is because they are aligned. They have mastered the internal, and so the external follows. And now, you have the same opportunity. But true mastery does not come from chasing, from forcing, from desperately trying to control reality. It comes from stepping into certainty. It comes from knowing that you are already connected, that you are already in harmony with the forces that shape existence. It comes from living each day as if your desires are already unfolding, because they are. It comes from understanding that you do not have to struggle to receive, that you do not have to prove yourself worthy. You were always worthy, you were always connected, you were always part of the whole. The illusion was never that you lacked power. The illusion was that you were separate from it. But now the illusion is breaking. The veil is lifting. You are seeing the patterns. You are understanding the reflections. You are recognizing the language of the universe speaking to you through signs, through synchronicities, through the subtle shifts in energy that were always there, waiting for you to notice. And the more you align, the more fluent you become in this language. You will begin to see the hidden order beneath what once seemed like chaos. You will start to understand why things happen the way they do. You will move with intention, with clarity, with an unwavering trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should. And when you hold that trust, when you embody that alignment, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. You will start to notice that your thoughts become reality faster than before, that people and opportunities appear in perfect timing, that what once felt like obstacles now feel like stepping stones, guiding you toward something greater. This is not because reality has changed, it is because you have changed. You are no longer resisting, you are no longer doubting, you are no longer operating from fear, from separation, from the illusion of limitation. And this is the final secret, that the only thing that ever held you back was the belief that something was holding you back. The only thing that ever kept you from experiencing your full power was the idea that you were powerless. But now, that idea is dissolving, and in its place, there is clarity. There is a deep, undeniable knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be, that everything you need is already within you, that the universe is not something you must conquer, it is something you are already a part of. And now it is time to decide. Do you step fully into this awareness? Do you begin to live each day as a conscious creator, knowing that your energy is shaping the world around you? Do you hold yourself to the standard of someone who understands their connection to all things? Or do you fall back into old patterns, into old beliefs, into the illusion that you are separate, that you are small, that you must struggle for what is already yours? Because the moment you choose, the moment you truly commit, the universe will respond. Not in the future, not someday, immediately. Because the shift does not happen outside of you, it happens within. And the moment you shift, the reflection shifts with you. As above, so below, as within, so without. It has always been this way, it will always be this way, and now you know. So what will you do with this knowing? How will you move through the world now that you understand that you are not separate from it? How will you create now that you know that your thoughts are not just personal, they are cosmic? How will you live now that you realize that you are not just part of the universe, but that the universe is expressing itself through you? The choice has always been yours, and now, in this moment, you decide.